Hello, Kaunda. Thank you for joining me on S24.
Hi, Amina. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So it seems like a lot has been going on in the bubble, and I'm sure you have a couple of updates for us.
Yes. Oh, the bubble's looking beautiful, Amina. Actually, my favorite team from the West, the Los Angeles Lakers, are 2-1 up against the Portland Trailblazers in the Western Conference. The Rockets are looking good. They're leading their best of seven games 2-1 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the Jazz, from being 1-0 down in the first game, are now 3-1 up against the Denver Nuggets. Now, another surprise in the Western Conference, which I'm kind of liking, is the Dallas Mavericks, which were expected to be a walkover against the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Dallas Mavericks have actually evened that series 2-2. So the Western Conference, as usual, is looking beautiful. But then again, if we move to the Eastern Conference, much more interesting things are happening there, where the most favored top seed Milwaukee Bucks are now only 2-1 up against the Orlando Magic. And I was expecting they would probably win the series 4-0. But, the Orlando Magic put up a good fight in game one. And then when we go further down and we find the fourth and fifth seed, the Miami Heat are 3-0 up against the Indiana Pacers. So if they win the next game, the Indiana Pacers can pack their bags and leave the bubble. Now, speaking of packing bags and leaving the bubble, the Philadelphia 76ers have to leave the bubble because they lost their game, all four of their first games against the Boston Celtics. So 4-0 eliminates them from the playoffs, and the Boston Celtics advance to the second round. And the same happened in the game, in the series against the Toronto Raptors and the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets just didn't have it in them to beat the Toronto Raptors in any of the games. They lost 4-0 in the series, and they're going home too. So it's looking really good. I think, as most pundits predicted, the Milwaukee Bucks are doing relatively well in the Eastern Conference, but then again, the Toronto Raptors, who are the reigning champions, are not sleeping on the potential to go back-to-back champions, but they will have to have a big fight on their hands. But they've been doing very, very well. And of course, in the West, the favored Los Angeles Lakers look like they could be making a finals appearance. But the Los Angeles Clippers are looking shaky because most people thought, well, maybe the Clippers could be the ones that will shock the Lakers into not winning this season's championship. But I, as a Lakers fan, I know the Lakers have it in them to push for that championship.
I see. So how do you see the next few games playing out, literally?
Oh, the next few games are going to be so interesting. Tonight, you got the game 4 between the Los Angeles Lakers against the Portland Trailblazers, and today is Mamba Day, as you may know. On the 26th of January, one Los Angeles Lakers legend, Kobe Bryant, died in that tragic helicopter accident, and today is obviously 8-24, which are the numbers he used before he was number 8 and changed to number 24. So today, for us basketball fans, is International Mamba Day. So I'm sure the Lakers are going to do it for Kobe Bryant and probably go 3-1 up against the Portland Trailblazers. I think we're going to have some really great action. I think the Rockets are probably going to beat OKC. The Jazz are going to take away the first round away from the Denver Nuggets and go to the second round. It's the Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks, and that's being played tomorrow. That's one where I see it could go either way. These teams have come out guns blazing, and I think that one's going to be exciting to watch. Even for non-basketball fans, I'll say watch that just for the action. Well, like I've mentioned, the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors are already through to the second round, so those two matchups are said and done. But I also think the Miami Heat tonight are going to get one better over the Indiana Pacers, and that'll be a story written in the stars. But what I want to see is if the Milwaukee Bucks, who finished top of the league, can be given a real run by the Orlando Magic, who actually finished 8th in the Eastern Conference, which is the weaker of the two conferences. So I'm quite surprised that the Orlando Magic have even squeezed in game 1 to win against a top seed team like the Milwaukee Bucks. But this is sport. Anything can happen on any night, right? I mean, recently, and I don't want to really make fun of Barcelona fans because I'm also a Barcelona fan part-time. I mean, 8-2, woo!
Well, you did say that anything can happen, so I'm now going to ask you, any predictions for what going forward?
Going forward, well, look, I'll be bold enough to say I've gone on record saying the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to beat the Rockets. That's not going to happen. I think the Rockets are going to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Los Angeles Lakers are definitely going through to round two. I think they're even going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. I just don't know if they're going to take the championship. But as a fan, I have to believe.
You have to believe. Well,
And the Milwaukee Bucks, yeah, I've got to believe. But the Milwaukee Bucks are looking questionable. If you had asked me at the beginning of the resumption of the season, I would have said Milwaukee Bucks is a definite lock for the NBA championships, to appear in the finals. But right now, I'm not too sure. I think the next couple of days are going to tell a couple of stories. But if you ask me who I think is going to win and who I want to win, that's obviously Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James has to win one for LA. He has to cement his greatness in the history of basketball, NBA basketball particularly.
I see. Well, we're just going to have to wait and see, I guess.
You can wait, and you definitely will see.
Well, Kaunda, thank you very much for joining me today.
It's a pleasure.